Goodnight kiss in your nightgown, lavender in your bed, so innocent as you lie down, sweet dreams that run through your head. Grandma brush put a little makeup. I just got the fatal with a sugar.
Alright.
Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Here you go, create another video.
I wanted to.
Here you go, create another video.
I wanted to.
Why won't you create another video?
I'm going to.
Here you go, create another video.
Fine.
I don't think you.
All right, here we go. Let's go over scales. In the previous episodes, we used G Phrygian, D Phrygian, E Phrygian, the whole tone scale, and the diminished scale. In this video, we'll be using F sharp mixolydian, B Phrygian, E minor, a whole tone scale, and a C diminished scale. F sharp mixolydian is the fifth mode of B major. So that means it has the same notes as B major, but we start on F sharp. B Phrygian is the third mode of G major. So same notes as G major, but we start on B. Then we have E minor. And we have a whole tone scale. And we have this C diminished scale. Most of the sections we'll be learning today are actually based more on chords than scales, so we're going to quickly go over some chord types. Let's start with a major triad. It has a root, a major third, and a perfect fifth. The minor triad has a root, a minor third, and a perfect fifth. We've lowered the third 1/2 step. The diminished triad has a root, a minor third, and a diminished fifth. Diminished fifths can also be called tritones and are equivalent to augmented fourths. We've lowered the fifth 1/2 step from our minor chord. We can also add one more note to get a diminished seventh chord. This chord is stacked minor thirds. Now this chord has two diminished fifths within it. C to G flat, and E flat to B double flat. B double flat is another way to write A. I'm not going to get into why we use double flats in this video. The augmented triad has a root, a major third, and an augmented fifth. It's like a major chord with a raised fifth. It's the only triad you can build using a whole tone scale. Then there are sus chords. A sus4 chord is like a major triad, but the third has been raised to a fourth. And a sus2 chord is like a major triad, but the third has been lowered to a second. Here's the first section we're going to learn. We're going to break that down into 2 measure sections. This section is an F-sharp mixolydian. Note the 5 sharps. For the first 3 beats, the right hand is playing the notes of an F-sharp sus4 chord. On beat 4, we switch to C-sharp sus4 and then to C-sharp sus2. Then on beat 5, we go down a half step to C sus2. In the next measure, we have tritones, which is part of a diminished chord. This could also fit within a whole tone scale. Then we have an A-sharp augmented arpeggio, which fits in that same whole tone scale. Let's hear the right hand slowly. Pay special attention to the fingering during the sextuplets. For the first 3 beats, left hand rocks back and forth between F sharps. That roots us in F sharp mixolydian. On beat 3, left hand moves to C sharp and then F sharp, which complements our C sharp sus chords in the right hand. On beat 4, we move to a G natural and a C natural, which complements our C natural sus2 chord in the right hand. In the next measure, the left doubles the right hand 2 octaves lower. Let's hear the left hand slowly. Let's hear both hands together slowly. Faster! Let's do the next 2 measures. For the right hand, the first 3 beats are exactly the same as the first measure of our previous 2 measures. But then the sextuplets on beats 4 and 5 are a little different, though they are still sus chords. We have a C sharp sus2 and a C sus2. Then we have a variation on the tritone part we saw earlier. We also go to an A sharp augmented arpeggio again, but this time we go to a different tritone at the end of the measure. Let's hear that right hand. For the left hand, the first measure is exactly the same as our previous 5/4 measure, and in the next measure, it basically doubles the right hand again. Let's hear the left hand. Let's hear both hands slowly. Faster! Next 2 measures. This measure is exactly the same as the first measure of the section. The 2/4 measure consists of an A sharp augmented arpeggio followed by a C augmented arpeggio. They're both part of the same whole tone scale. On the first beat, the left hand doubles the right hand just down 2 octaves. On the second beat, it harmonizes the right hand using the same augmented arpeggio. Let's hear just the right hand. Let's hear the left hand. Let's hear both hands slowly. Faster! Next 2 measures. We already played the exact same 5/4 measure earlier. After that, we go to a measure of 5/8 instead of going to 2/4 like we did previously. The left hand goes down to our F sharp mixolydian scale diatonically, leading us to a B to start the next section. The right hand also does this, but in triplets, and adds some chromatic passing tones. Let's hear the right hand. Let's hear the left hand. Let's hear both hands slowly. Faster! The 5/8 measure is really difficult because on a piano or a weighted keyboard, it's very difficult to play the same notes repeated quickly. That's why I use this kind of weird fingering. It actually makes it much easier. So I highly recommend using that fingering or something similar. It's a lot harder if you try to do the repeated notes with the same finger. All right, now we have reached the improvised solo in 11/8. The original version goes like this. But that doesn't work very well for a solo piano version. So Jordan Rudess decided to put an improvised solo in 11/8 here instead. The descending line in the 5/8 measure led us to a B, and we changed to B Phrygian. To be able to improvise this, practice your B Phrygian scale. Same notes as G major, right? Practice playing just the left hand by itself. The better you know that part, the easier it will be to improvise with your right hand. Experiment and figure out what works best. Here's just the left hand part. Let's see it with both hands. I'm just going to improvise on it a little bit so it'll be different from what I played on the full version. I'm not going to do it quite as fast. At the end of that section, we have these two sextuplets, which bring us into the next section. The run sticks to the notes of the B Phrygian scale, except for this F natural. Let's hear that part. Faster! This next section is just E minor arpeggios, F sharp major arpeggios, and A minor arpeggios, harmonized between the two hands. Let's hear the right hand. Let's hear the left hand. Let's hear both hands slowly. Faster! The last section we'll be learning in this video is in E minor, but there are a lot of chromatic notes along with a short diminished scale section. Let's hear this whole last section. Let's take that two measures at a time. The hands double each other just an octave apart. The first measure has a sort of hidden melody. These notes are repeated and leap away from all the higher notes. So I'm going to say that these notes are not part of our hidden melody. These notes are our hidden melody. It goes down chromatically from E to A. then skips down to an F sharp. The first 2 beats of the next measure are made up of the notes of an E minor chord with a few passing tones. Then we've got this tritone leading us to this A. The fingering for the left hand here is a little strange. We have to do this jump to our pinky. This fingering was one of the few included by Jordan Rudess. I think he included it because it's a very important fingering and it's a little bit weird. For this measure, pay close attention to the fingering in both hands. Let's see the right hand. Let's see the left hand. Let's do both hands. The next measure is the same as the first measure with the hidden melody. The measure after that is the one that uses that C diminished scale. Also pay extra attention to the fingering in this measure. Let's see the right hand. Let's see the left hand. Let's do both hands. Faster! Next 2 measures. Again, this measure is the same as the first with the hidden melody, but now we're an octave lower. Then our right hand moves to a C chord and then a B chord, while our left hand continues with the 16th notes. It's all part of an E minor scale besides a few chromatic notes. The last beat of the left hand outlines a B major chord, which is the 5 chord in E minor. Let's see the right hand. Let's see the left hand. Let's do both hands slowly. Faster! Next 2 measures. We move to the 1 chord minus the 3rd in the right hand, then join back with our left hand for that hidden melody part again. Then the hands both play a C chord together and then a B chord, just like how our right hand played a C chord and then a B chord earlier. But this time they're dominant chords and we have this syncopated rhythm. We put this syncopated rhythm here to help us change styles. We're going to go into the ragtime section next lesson. So this is leading us into that ragtime solo. All right, let's see the right hand. Let's see the left hand. Let's do both hands. Faster! Let's hear everything we've learned in this video.
ha 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 ha.